Morning, everybody. Welcome back to Deep Sky Farms, and welcome to a new adventure that we're going to embark on. We are in Mason County, West Virginia, and we're starting a new map. We're starting a new series. Oh, look, a collectible. Is that a collectible? Ooh, that was an expensive one. All right. Welcome to Mason County. It's weird. With the first couple of test runs I did on this map, I didn't see it. And it's literally right there. So turn around slow and look around. Anyway, welcome back. Welcome to Mason County. We're starting out a new series. I've been away for a little bit, had some real life stuff happening, work, big project, and honestly, some of the recordings that I've been doing lately weren't exactly what I wanted to be doing. So, with that in mind, I took a break, took some time off, started poking around, and I went back to have another look at Mason County. Now, the first time I loaded this map in, I dropped into it, I looked at it, and went, oh no, what a nightmare. I'm not dealing with this. I'm not doing this. This is crazy. And it was mostly just, I don't know, my first impression of it. But since then, the map's been updated, and more importantly, I've been updated. My initial perceptions of it were from, I'm going to say it was just the place I was as a player then. I was looking for big agriculture, like I wanted to run around with the 9RX. I'd been watching a lot of videos of big farms and big farming and stuff. So I didn't get what this was all about. But we need some OSHA here. We need guardrails on this bridge. I didn't get what this map was all about and what the author was intending. But since then, I've kind of changed my approach to how I'm playing and how I'm building maps and stuff. I've gotten more into modding. I've created one of my own mods that we'll see later. And I've changed my approach from driving big tractors around big rectangles to experiencing the gameplay. Do we own this? For those of you who don't know, is that a collectible? It is not a collectible. However, we do own this. This is firewood production. Cool. So there is forestry on this map. For those of you who don't know, we'll be getting into that. Anyway, back to what I was saying. Let's check the map. Follow the big road. I think we follow the big road. I've changed my approach as a player. I've grown as a player. I've grown as a content creator, and I've grown as a modder. And I've played some really... Let's run into the tree. I'm trying to sneak around here because I didn't feel like hopping out to open the fence. And that's what that gets you. So I've changed. The map has been updated. And they've done a really, really good map. So when I started messing around with it a couple of weeks ago, I haven't had so much fun on a map since I think the first time I dropped into Silver Run Forest and started messing around there. So with that in mind, I decided I wanted to do a series on this map, Mason County. And I want to focus on the productions here because there's a million of them. And you start out this map with a lot of stuff. I was checking out another map. I'm not going to say which one, but basically you drop into it with no land, a pickup truck, and you're in the middle of a city. And I'm like, that wasn't appealing to me. This, however, I dropped into it and I could be playing and I could be entertained right away. And if doing survival challenges is your thing, fair enough. Fill your boots. I kind of did that on Green Mountain, building everything from scratch. And it got a little bit tiring after a while. But this map here, I dropped into it. There was immediately a million things to do, and honestly, it was a little bit overwhelming to start. I didn't know where to start. So I took some time, I dove into the map, and I said, okay, let's go, let's do this, and I want to do this as a series. So, that being said, as a series, what do we want to do as a series here? I want to explore the production chains, and I want to figure out how this map works in more detail, and I want to mess around with some mods. As usual, I want to mess around with equipment. I want to do some farming on this map, and I want to have fun farming. I don't want to be bored farming. I was looking at another map recently, an amazing big mod map, really well done, lots of detail to it, put together really well, but it wasn't for me because I spent an entire weekend harvesting a field. I don't know if you've ever done that, and that was using auto drive and course play. So, you know, I would set this thing up and I would go away and I would make stuff and I would come back to it and we're still harvesting. And it looked good. It seemed like fun at for the first 5 minutes, but I got bored of it pretty quick. That's the other thing. I tend to get bored of maps pretty quick. So hopefully this one here will change that because there's so much to do. I really, really want to dig into it. And I honestly haven't had this much fun on a map messing around with it since I started playing Middleburg. So that being said, here we go. We are on our starting farm, as you may guess. I just didn't stop and hop in a random combine. And the first thing that we get is we get a combine with a wheat field to harvest, which is kind of a meme start, but whatever. We are going to need the wheat for stuff. We have animals. We have all the animals except horses. And they're all scattered all over the map. Now, they're not in custom enclosures. They're in the base game enclosures for the most part, with modified pastures, actually. That was something that I really liked about it. The pastures are modified to fit the surroundings. And we'll see that when we go visit them. That's what we're going to do probably next, after I get this field harvested. I just wanted to hop in here and do something while I was talking. And I mean, this is the traditional start, right? Oh, you got a combine and a field. Let's go. So here we are, we're almost done. And that's something else that I liked about this map, is the fields are on the smaller side. You can knock off a field here probably in about 15-20 minutes and get an okay yield off of it and then move on to the next thing. You're not going to make a ton of fortune off of harvest. That's true. But you are going to be able to use it as inputs for other things that will make you a pretty good chunk of change. And in this case, the wheat, this is going to be an input for your animals. And we'll get to that, I promise. Whoops, I missed stuff. Down the middle. That's okay, we'll come get it. We'll come get it. So, we're going to get into all of that. We're going to go on a map tour as we find stuff out. Actually, we're just going to find stuff out as we go. I'll show you the stuff. It's no worries. Up. And spin. And spin. There we go. Down. And we'll catch that little piece on the way back. Now, there's a bunch of different ways to start this. I've done a couple of test starts on it to see what I wanted to do, get a feel for things, how they would go. And I've done about Oh, I'm going to say a week on 2 test starts. So unlike my usual thing where I just jump into it randomly and let's go, I've actually taken the time to do a little bit of research. And hopefully that... oops, I didn't stop at the end of my row. That's all right. And hopefully that kind of comes through in the videos where I actually appear to know what I'm doing. Unlike normally where I just get in, rock and roll, and we make a bunch of mistakes and we figure it out on the fly. All right, shut that down. And we're just going to park this right here. Out of the way for now. So that was our first field. Let's have a look at what we own. Field 36, that's what we own here. We also own, well, farmland. Let's do farmland. We own this patch down here. And we own this chunk of forest right here. Don't worry about that. Pay no attention to that. That'll be important later on. This is all forest in here. We're going to have fun with some forestry. You'll see. And this has our sheep farm and our chicken farm, and it's really, really cool the way they're set up. So we have pigs, sheep, goats, ducks, chickens, and calves. And what's really cool about this, you'll see, they come fully stocked with food. Oh, we need to feed the goats, and yeah, we need to feed the goats. Chickens are good. Cows are good. Everything is full up except for the sheep. So we'll have to cut some grass for them. Actually, we'll make some hay for them because they've got a lot of grass. I'm not using Maize Plus. I wanted to use Maize Plus as usual, but then I thought about it and I thought, there's custom stuff going on for the map for productions. Let's not make it more complicated than it actually is. Let's go get our John Deere here. Our John Deere Gator, that comes with the 3-point on it. The first start I did, I took the 3-point off of it, and I was like, nah, I don't need that. I never really need that. I need the tipper more than I need the 3-point. The second start, I traded in on a Kubota, and I was like, and I didn't actually use it, and I was like, I wish I had a 3-point on the Kubota. So this time, we're going to try it like this. We're probably going to end up having 2 of these things, at least, because we've got farms scattered all over the place. Yeah, let's do that first. Let's go up to let's start out with the sheep, no, we'll start out with the cow farm, because that's closest to here. And then we'll hit the pigs and the sheep, because we've got a little bit of infrastructure work to do as we're driving around. Thank you very much to the... Oh, what's this? This soybean? It's oats. We may end up buying that field. Actually, yeah, we can take the straw off of that. We are going to need straw, and I think at least one of our animals will eat the oats. What we're looking for in terms of fields, it would be cool if we could get some black beans, because the pigs and the cows will eat them on the feeding system that's already set up on this map. So it's sort of Maize Plus-y, but not Maize Plus, which is why I didn't put Maize Plus on here. Okay, we're almost there. Also, there's a million sell points on this map. All of these houses, you see they've got a sell point trigger right out in front of it there. These are residential sell points, and it looks like they're residential load points too, probably for septic. Yes, we can do septic sucking. And we'll get into that. There is a BGA on this map. I've played with it. One possible idea I have is buying it, tearing it down, and playing with the modular BGA pack. So here are our cows. Well, they're technically calves right now. So standard cow barn, a rather nice cow barn actually. Standard manure pit. Baby cows with lots of food, slurry. These are good to go. We'll need to come and blow some straw in here though. Oh no, sorry, cows already have straw. So they're going to start making manure for us right away, which is going to be a production input. This map, like I say, all about the production. So we need to keep a mind on the production inputs. All right, and we're going to go up here. If you want to watch a full map tour of this, I think the usual suspects have them up. We're going to do the low and slow map tour. We're going to explore everything over a series of episodes. But if you just want a quick overview of it, and you know what? In fact, I believe the author has a map tour, which is kind of cool, hearing it right from the person who made it. All right, up next on the left is our pig barn. Did we drive by it? We sure did. We just drove right by it. That's me talking and not paying attention. Here's our dairy. Do we own this? I don't think we do. Let's see. Owned by my farm. Okay, so we do own the dairy. Cool. Well, it's going to be a while because our cows are small. So we won't be having milk from the cows in there. But, interestingly, either the sheep or the goats are dairy variety. I think it's the goats. Don't quote me on that. But something in the sheep-goat pen is producing milk. And something is producing wool. Okay, here's our pigs. This is the standard pig barn with a really nice pasture. Look at that. Isn't that a fantastic place for the pigs to hang out? And we do have, I think we've got half a dozen of these guys. Yeah, half a dozen. Basically a breeding set. Now, the thing that I want to drop in here, while we're here, down at the end, there's our slurry output. We are going to drop in a silo extension. This guy right here. Hold still. About right there ought to do it. Should give us enough room to swing in there and work. So that straw that we just made with our harvester from the wheat, we're going to bale that up and bring it over and blow it in for the pigs in a little while. They're just little, they're not going to produce a whole lot, so it's no big rush, but it is something that we want to do sooner rather than later. The other thing we want to do is come out here with the brush hog and cut down all this brush, make it a little bit more friendly and habitable. Now, we're going to go back, and we're going to left turn, and we're going to drive on down the road. That off to the right is another production. It is the grain, a grain mill. I don't know if we own it or not. We'll go have a look at it later because there's a lake in behind it. You can see down on the mini map. There's a lake down there. We're going to fill up our water tanker with that. Because yes, we are going to be doing greenhouses. Look at that big pasture in there. That's just, pick that up and mow it. And then replant it. Like come in, brush hog, haul all the crap that's in there off to the BGA, and then we go in and replant it with proper field grass. That's something I'm going to be doing on this build. Normally, like it counts as grass. Okay, if you want to just play it and play the game the way the game is set up, just mow it, bale it, give it to your animals. But in reality, what's in there is who knows what, right? There's literally wild crap in there. Not to say that wild is bad, but there's sticks and there's bushes and there's who knows what. So in this case, what I would prefer to do is I am going to brush hog that down and come in with the baler or something and bale it up, take it to the biogas, and then replant with either alfalfa, which is a crop on this map, or proper grass, planted grass. Just number one, I think it makes a better RP. Number two, it feels better. All right, we're coming up here to the turn. We do have a train on this map and a barge, although the barge isn't like the barge on Green Mountain. It's not a train, it's just a sell point that happens to be beside the river. Still cool though. Okay, we're gonna cut cross country. I don't feel like driving all the way around. Off to our right here is the trailer park. That was the first start I did, was by the trailer park and start cutting down trees. The second start, I didn't buy the trailer park. I didn't start cutting down trees. I focused more on farming. Both ways, pretty fun. What are we going to do on this one? You know, if you want to let me know what I should do in terms of do we buy the trailer park or do we focus on farming, let me know down in the comments. I'd appreciate that. So here's the next part of our empire. Forwarder, processor, truck, trailer. This is on that loopy loop, and our fuel tank. Now I'm gonna tell you right now, we're gonna ditch the forwarder and we're gonna ditch the processor right off the bat because there's a lot of money tied up in them. And honestly, I tried them on my first start, didn't like them a whole lot. I've got better machines from FDR, and we're gonna use those. FDR recently released some equipment that is meant to work with vanilla sized trees, vanilla weight trees. I've tested it out. It works pretty well. And more importantly, the controls, he's got his own control mapping set up, and it's logical and it feels more tuned than the vanilla stuff. So that's what we're going to do. And they're less expensive. Okay, here's our sheep/goat enclosure. You can see down on the bottom right in the info panel, it says there is milk. I heard that. There we go. Baby animals. The baby animals. And they've got a nice big pasture down here. I'm probably going to be clearing out all of these dead trees out of here. That's a winter project. And I think I may end up taking the brush hog to this too. I'm going to use the animal, what's it called? The grazing edition. I've tested it on the other map. It seems to work. Not that we really need to worry about it because the pens are all full. They're jacked right full, except for the cows. I guess, or except for the sheep. I guess that they gave this, you know, thank the map maker. We've got all this grass that can be cut here and cleaned up. They give us a spot to dump it. They give us a spot to use it up. So thanks to them. Over here, this is our chicken coop. This is the base game chicken coop. Pretty good. If you want to be fancy and change it out, fine. The only thing is, it may not necessarily work with this pasture. This is all one thing, because if we hop in here, hop the fence instead of using the gate, there's a little guy. Yeah, there's a little chick. There we go. There's a duck. So yeah, these are all of our animals, our baby animals. All of our pens are full, so we can not worry about them for a little bit while we start working around in here. And just as we're going around here, I'm kind of keeping my eye open for collectibles because there's a bunch of them on the map. and they're kind of in weird places. Okay, let's hop back into our gator, and we're going to head back to the main farm. I'll give you a little bit of a tour on the way back. I'll probably accelerate through some of it just to get there. Oh yeah, and we have to set up our game settings. We'll talk about that when we get there. So right now we're at the bottom of the map. This is a 1x map, so I'm not sure. Whoa, I forgot that I had left traffic on. Or that I hadn't turned traffic off. Who's a former professional driver? Yeah. So we need to set up our game settings. We'll do that once we get back to the main farm. And I'm just going to take you through town. Town is pretty cool. I like town. It's not a bundle of non-interactive stuff in a rectangle. It's really well laid out, and there's room to move through there with different size equipment. It's a little tight in the combine, but yeah, you can manage it. You can manage it. And those fields off to the left here, those are accessible through the back end of our farm / forestry area. So basically what we've got on the go here, it's going to be a use the whole map kind of deal. And maybe eventually that might be the goal, is we farm the whole map, own all the fields. This is our pallet and plywood manufacturing. This takes a couple of different inputs, and you get plywood that you can sell on to another production point or as residential sales, and empty pallets which go to different productions. Now, while we're talking about that, on this map, I am going to be using Production Revamp. It's a mod, and the name of the author escapes me at the moment, but basically it's a mod that goes through and changes up how production chains are put together. It allows you to do booster inputs, mix inputs, optional inputs. Basically, you'll see it. We'll get into it. But Production Revamp, it ties in really, really nicely with this map. I don't know if that was intended by the author of the map. I hope it was, because they work together really seamlessly. I used to use it on, just as a default, but then I never got hard into it. Watch out for the train, by the way. That will yeet you across the map. I never got into it hard on any other map, but I think we're going to do kind of a deeper dive into it on this map. This is town. Isn't this great? This is awesome. We're driving by a whole bunch of different productions, some of which we own, some of which we don't. I think all of them are buyable, if I'm not mistaken. So we can go to town on it. Well, literally, town. Okay, so we're gonna roll in here. There's our septic sucking / water truck. It gets used more than you would think. There's our Joskin Aquatrans. This is our house for now until we figure out what we're gonna do. And we're just going to park this thing back in here, and I think I'm going to not sell it this time. Okay, let's get through. We'll do a quick tour through the productions, and then we're going to go into our game settings and kind of lay down some of the rules. So for our production chains, here's what we own. We own the bakery, we own a car production, we own a carpentry, a cement and asphalt factory, a cereal factory, charcoal, crude oil, the dairy, feed production. This is going to come in handy, especially with all that grass. If you want to mow that grass and take it to feed production, fill your boots. Interesting thing to note here on the feed production is you input 500 grass, you get 450 silage plus 50 of this compost. This compost is the same compost as the compost mod that's been kind of sitting around in ModHub. That compost and this compost are used in another mod that recently came out, orchards and greenhouses. You'll see it because I'm going to put some in. Anyway, you'll see it. You'll see it. Trust me. But that's nice that we can do compost like that. Firewood production, we already saw that. Gold, I haven't figured that out yet. I know where the thing is to process it, but I haven't figured it out. Our oil mill, the old sawmill, which only makes wood beams, planks, dry lumber. Okay, that's out. This is the outhouse production. Okay, so in comes this, and out goes that. Wait a minute. That's sort of weird. Also wood chips. Wood chips come in for the plywood thing. We've got a paper and cardboard plant. I've also got Josh's paper mill, the modded one that takes wood chips. So we may end up using one of those, but we're not there yet. And we've got the septic productions. We've got a smelter. I don't know what that is, but we're going to find out. Spinnery, fair enough. Tires, we'll get to that. We'll need that for cars. The trailer park, you bring in stuff, it gives you junk. It's kind of cool. And a wood dryer. So we can supply it with planks, wood beams, and planks long, and out of it we get dry lumber, which sells for a really good price. A really good price. I think it's around $8,000 per thousand. So it's a good way to multiply your money. All right. While we're here, let's drop down into the game settings, and we're going to change the name of this to Mason County recording. Autosave, we're going to leave that there. Time scale, it's going to stay at 5 for now. I might bump it up to 6. You can run this at 6 pretty well. Economic difficulty, easy. Traffic, we're going to leave that on for now. Seasonal growth, yes. We're going to play with seasons. We kind of need to. We need a break in the wintertime to do forestry. Days per month, we're going to go with 2-day months. I wanted to try it as 1-day months, but we really need the extra day in there. Snow, we're going to leave it on until it gets annoying. Crop destruction on. Plowing, we're turning that on. Fieldstone is going on. It's a production input. We're going to need to figure out how to deal with that. Lime and weeds, yep. Dirt, normal, automatic engine start. I always turn that off. It's just annoying. Stop and go braking. I don't use it, but then it doesn't affect me to leave it on. Trailer fill limit. Let's turn that on for a change. I've never turned it on before. We're going to find out. Fuel, we're going to turn that up to normal, because once our production chains get rolling, we're going to have a lot of money coming in. So what we want to do is have a lot of money going out at the same time, just to keep the challenge there. Like if we have $1 billion, let me put it this way. I could just EDC myself $1 billion and that would be it. Hey, I won. Cool. That's kind of boring. So these guys, we're going to turn them off as usual. I've got tip anywhere. If you don't have tip anywhere, you should have tip anywhere. It lets you get away with a lot of stuff. And Production Revamp has its own section in here. Don't worry about this. This is more for multiplayer. Okay, it's for the buy function in productions. I'll show you that. So you see here, planks are incoming materials. If we want to buy planks, let's just do that. Buy 1,000 planks for $8. $8. 7,799. Let's buy that. Okay, so now we have 1,000 planks. Okay, we can activate that. Now we've got our production running. And see, away she goes. She's ticking away. We're going to have dry lumber in a little bit. So yeah, if you're short on a production Production Revamp gives you the opportunity to buy that input. Anyway, back to where we were. Priority system. This is for Production Revamp. Again, this lets you assign your outputs whenever you have them in distribute mode. Who gets them first, who gets them second, who gets them third. Mission fix. This is what especially going to come in handy here. This prevents you from supplying yourself as a mission. If a mission picks one of your productions, it won't count towards your production. And the correction of purchase prices. Okay. This changes the thing that we just did, buying the input. This adjusts that. So we can change the difficulty level on or off. So we're just going to leave it on. Distribution cost. There is a distribution cost whenever you distribute from one of your productions to another. That's the standard. If we want to take them off, we turn that to 0, like it says here. And for the direct sales, the direct selling price, that's when you sell right out of a production. Instead of delivering that production, there's a factor applied to that. We can change that, but at 0.9, that's pretty reasonable, right? We're not charging for delivery. They're coming to us to get it. So that's not too bad. We're just going to leave all of that the way it is. I'm going to save that. And there's nothing in here that really needs to be changed. I've got it, $miles, Fahrenheit, acres. We're going to see how long that lasts, being a Canadian who does stuff in metric. Easy arm controls, I have them set to off because I've tried it. It just messes with me. If you're having issues using the harvester or the wood harvester and that, turn that off. We're using the lumberjack mod, turning that off. Don't want to deal. We need wood chips. We don't need that many wood chips. And unit convert, we're going to turn that to US customary. Going to see how that goes. The other mod that we're going to play with is we are going to go with conservation agriculture. We're going to try it with the default settings here. Okay, roller crimping, you'll see this as we go. We'll see this as we go. And we've got extended game info display on the go. That's up in the corner here. But this here, I'll talk about it as we're going through it. Read through this if you want. I'll leave this up for a second. Okay, so all of that's out of the way. We can turn our machine off here. Stop wasting fuel. Okay, that's it. We made it through the first episode. We did the tour. We did the harvest. Next episode, we are going to look at our machinery. We've got a lot of machinery here and a bunch of it out at the other farm. And I'm going to go through this here with y'all, and we are going to change pretty much all of this out. We're keeping that thing. We're keeping the combine. Probably going to sell the Bachmann. Tractor's going to go. Truck's going to go. The Joskin's going to stay. That's going to go. That's going to go. That's going to go. This is going to go. That's going to go. And that's going to go. But that's for next episode. You'll see that on the next episode. We're going to call it here. I'm going to say thank you very much for coming out. Thank you for sticking with the channel. We picked up a new subscriber during the hiatus. We're up to 49 now. I guess this is going to be our close enough to 50 celebration thing. So thanks y'all for coming out. Thanks for subscribing. Thanks for the comments. I really appreciate them. If you have any opinions on what we want to do we want to buy the trailer park or do we want to buy some fields down here? It can go either way. Leave me a comment on that. So we'll see you again next time. Take care of yourselves, y'all.